Hi everybody, welcome. My name is Helmannn, and this is my Righteous Fire Totem character, currently on the Alpha Realm. So I decided to go Righteous Fire Totem because with Ascendancy coming out, they released all the classes, and I was trying to find out what a good build for Chieftain would be, which is one of the Marauder Ascendancy classes. With this new node, Gahama War's Herald, makes your totems immune to fire damage, makes them a little tankier, and they reflect their max life as fire damage when they're hit. So with that note, I was like, Righteous Fire Totems. They were pretty strong before, back in the day, but the only problem was they killed themselves. You had to run like Purity to Fire, so they killed themselves slower. But with this node, they don't kill themselves anymore. So I decided to try it out, and it's working pretty well, as y'all see later when I run the Labyrinth. But so first I'll go over my build, then the current gear I'm using, then I'll show you a little bit how it works. So, started out Marauder with basically all the early life nodes, and there's no real efficient way to get out of the tree to get to the stuff you need. To go through Born to Fight, even though it's basically worthless. All it is a 20 strength node. Helps you get out the nodes you need faster. Got the Totemic Mastery. Totem life is really important for the build because all your damage is based off the life of the totem. Since they're Righteous Fire Totems, 90% of the life is converted into damage. Got the Cyan Life Wheel, Vapor just for the life regen, working getting runes. I'll get to that in a second. Spire of Stone. You can only use one of them, but it's 3% increased totem life per 10 strength allocated in the radius. In this specific spot, it ends up giving us 18% increased totem life. It's pretty good, increases your damage by a lot. You can grab these two 10 strength nodes or these two 10 strength nodes to get a little bit more. Probably not worth it until a really late game. Then it might be worth it. Not too sure. Grab combat stamina for some extra life regen and life. Go into the Templar. Life, AoE, some elemental damage. Devotion for more life. Whereas Ancestral Bond, because we're dual totem. Going through the totem life node as opposed to totem damage, because as I said, totem life is the best way to increase the damage on the totems. More life nodes. Holy Fire. So I'll get to that in a second, I guess. But increased burning damage. Then we got explosive impact. Getting here isn't the best. I mean, that's a point to get over to the fire damage nodes, but it gives you extra radius, which for the totems is pretty good. Grab quick recovery for a little bit of life regen, a little extra life for 1 point. Got dual curse on the tree, and then we come over here and get the witch AoE node, and then finally the new node, elemental overload. We're going to be using our Orb of Storms in order to proc this. As long as we crit once every 8 seconds, we get 40% more elemental damage, and that's a multiplier. So there's a few ways to increase the damage on Righteous Fire totems. One is to increase them with the more damage multipliers from support gems and from the elemental overload, which you just saw. So the other way is to increase the fire damage you do, the elemental damage you do, and the burning damage you do, and the totem life. So the main one is going to be totem life, since it scales the most. That's like the base damage is scaled off totem life, and everything else scales off of the totem life. So you get increased burning damage, increased elemental damage, and even get fire damage. You get something like increased fire damage. So all those will. Oh, now I guess finally increase radius. Area damage would increase your damage as well. So all those are different ways to scale the damage on your Righteous Fire totems. So ideally, when you're playing on live, you get some cool jewels. There's a lot of things you can look for: totem life, totem damage, area damage, etc., etc., etc. All will increase your damage by a lot. Of course, on alpha, not that many people playing, not that many jewels available, and it's kind of hard to roll them on limited resources. So not worth getting at this point, but later on the build, you're going to be wanting to get every jewel socket available. 2 points for this one, 2 points for this one, 2 points for this one, and then maybe 3 points for this one and 3 points for this one. So end game, that's probably what you go for. Right, next point I'd be getting is Skittering Runes, and then you could debate for 1 point getting Heart and Soul for life nodes. You could debate for 2 points getting Tireless for life nodes, and after that, there's no really good life nodes to get. So that's basically the skill tree. As far as gear we're using, so there's going to be 3 main scepters you're going to be wanting to use for this build. The best starting scepter is going to be the Labyrinth's Wisdom. It gives you life and mana. It does reduce move speed, but not that much, but mainly gives you 10% increased radius and 10% increased area damage. The radius helps a lot because there's only a limited amount of increased radius you can get, and with Righteous Fire Totems being placed and they have to cast, the more AoE you get, the better. So the more mobs you can clear at a time. After this, you're going to want to get a Dune Kubiani, because you're starting as a Marauder, you're in this part of the tree, you're going to have a lot of strength. 337 at the moment. With better gear, you can get a lot more strength than that. Also, in the Ascendancy, you can get Kahuoa for strength, which gives you 10% increased strength, which of course increases your strength on top of that. And yeah, that'll increase your damage a lot. And then finally, the Uriani's Catalyst, which when perfectly rolls gives you 110% increased elemental damage. And that'll probably be the best weapon to get. You can dual wield scepters if you want, or you can use a shield if you want to be tankier. Also, going back to the build, one thing you can get instead of Tawoa is Nagamahu Flames Advance, which gives you Ignite Chance, which is worthless, but 35% increased damage against burning enemies. I'm not 100% sure if this works with Righteous Fire, because the Righteous Fire causes them to burn. I don't know if the damage stacks on top of them or not. I assumed it would, but I'd rather get tankier with Tawoa than I would to get the 35% increased burning damage. I don't think that increased damage will be significant enough to warrant it over being tankier, especially playing in a hardcore league. So, you notice I got dual curse over here, and you saw me going for curse effectiveness over here. The reason we're doing that is because in-game, this build is going to be running 4 to 5 curses. Currently running 2 from the one base, 1 from the tree, 1 from Dodra's Damning. Then ideally use Windscream and Know the Dodrays, unless you're on 5 curses. This would be 3 on Blasphemy. After you would get Sovereignty, you'd Blasphemy your Temp Chains, Enfeeble, and then you can do your pick of Vuln, Ellie Weakness, and Ability. And then you do Curse on Hit with Orbit Storms. And you do Flammability and Ellie Weakness or Vuln, whichever of the ones you didn't choose. That provides you a lot of tank and a lot of extra damage, because you'll just walk up to mobs. They'll be double defensively cursed, plus an offensive curse, and then you can triple. You'll be penta-cursing them just by walking up. Makes it really tanky for you to walk around. Makes this a really safe character for hardcore. So let's go over the rest of the gear. None of the actually, I'm thinking about it, none of the other gear really matters. Ideal helm for this build is going to be Dodra's Scorn, which is a +1 curse helm that has like 20% increased elemental damage, or 20% increased damage per cursed enemy, something like that. It's going to be really good. And then rest of your gear doesn't really matter. Just high life, high resist. I'm currently using Rise of Phoenix, not because it's good for the build at all. It doesn't do anything. I'm not running Righteous Fire myself. It doesn't help the totems at all. It's the best shield I've found in this league, so don't think you have to use this. Also use Aventors, using it purely because of the resist on it. I haven't found a better resist ring, so using it. Everything else doesn't really matter. As far as damage links go, Righteous Fire, Elemental Focus, Rapid Decay, Spell Totem, and Increased AoE is going to be my 5 link. For a 6th link, you can throw in Increased Burning Damage for flat increased damage, Conk Effect for really high increased damage but lowers your clear speed, or you can throw in Item Rarity if you just want to farm. Alternatively, with the 5 link setup, when I go to bosses, I'll pop in Conk Effect, which will increase my damage by a lot. Other links you're going to want is Searing Bond. I'm using Searing Bond, Rapid Decay, Elemental Focus, and a 3 link. Since you can have 2 totems down, and the Searing Bond doesn't count as your Ancestral Bond, can be a 3rd totem. This increases the burning damage and also scales off all the burning damage, fire damage, and elemental damage you get on the tree. Then I have both Rallying Cry and Enduring Cry. I use Rallying Cry most of the time, as long as I want to do damage to the mobs around me. If I feel like I need to be tankier, then I have the Enduring Cry to cast, both with increased duration. Rallying Cry with increased duration lasts for 13 seconds, which is huge. And then, of course, Enduring Cry lasts 4 seconds as well. Of course, you can have both of them on you at a time, as long as you keep them up and are adamant about casting them.
I cannot do this yet.
You have all your Endurance charges plus Rallying Cry, but provides a little bit of focus. Other links, we're running Flame Dash, faster casting, move around quicker, lets you jump gaps. You never really need to move. You don't need a different movement speed. Can't use Whirling Blades, of course, but you don't need Lightning Warp because you don't ever run out of charges of Flame Dash. Gloves. Let's see, this is my gloves. I have Determination, Temp Chains, Blasphemy. So ideally, you're not running Determination. You're running triple curses on your Blasphemy. So that'd be one of your links. And then here we have Enduring Cry, Rallying Cry, Increased Duration. And then finally, we'd have a cast on damage taken setup. We just don't have that set up currently. But yeah, it's basically the build. And so let's see it in action. Oh, I guess leveling this character, I went down to the life nodes, up to Born to Flight, Born to Fight, whenever grabbed Arsonist, and basically went Flame Totem and Fire Trap, then rushed over to Ancestral Bond and went dual Flame Totem with the Searing Bond Totem. Did that all the way until I killed Cruel Izaro. At that point, I switched to Righteous Fire Totems, and they were pretty strong from there, and pretty strong the entire way. So definitely recommend that. If I plan to do this on Alpha, which I'm about, I mean, when Ascendancy comes out, which I'm about 50% on, I will probably do some sort of support build and dual curse / tri curse the way up while leveling, probably grab EE. And at that point, I'll be, once I have all the gear and stuff and have all my links set up, then I'll be switching to RF totems. Not 100% sure if I'm actually do this build or not, but an option. Also, a lot of people are going to ask, why don't I go Elemental Equilibrium? The reason I don't go Elemental Equilibrium is if I cast something like Overstorms to try and EE, it does 0 damage, so it won't actually proc anything. I melee things won't actually do damage. So the only way to actually proc EE is to throw a trap or throw a mine, or have another totem that just does a specific type of damage. The downside is if you're trying to EE, what Tsukahama does is when they reflect their maximum life as damage as fire damage, it'll actually un-EE them and make them more resistant to fire. Not really worth it. Also, one other thing you can run for this build is lightning traps. Lightning traps, of course, shock everything in the area, make them take more damage, and that'll just increase your damage as well. So you can use that on like all phases of Izaro, you can use it on Siri, etc, etc, etc. So currently the way the build is set up, run on Temp Chains, run Determination, and as I said, the way Elemental Overload works, as long as I crit within 8 seconds, I maintain the 40% increased damage. So as you see, as long as I'm clearing mobs, it'll stay up pretty much most of the time. Got a long load screen here. It'll stay up most of the time. You'll pretty much always have the buff on. For single target for bosses, it's not really as guaranteed, but it seems like the crit is ruled individually per mob in the pack. You see, I'll run up to this pack, use it. Of course, now it doesn't work. There you go, now it's up. Alright, so then here is the build in action. Y'all can watch it up here. You can see it stays up most of the time as long as I cast it on mobs. Pretty consistent. They did just nerf the crit chance on it from 6% to 5%. So that means probably not as good. There might be a different skill that's better in proccing it. Oh yeah, I'm sorry about the loot filter. I can turn down the sounds of that somewhere, can't I? There we go. I just Neversink just gave me his new version of the filter. I highly recommend his filter. I've used it ever since they allowed item filters. So it's definitely something I would look into getting. But basically, Labyrinth, you can run through most things. This build has pretty decent regen in it, so nothing hits that hard, and you can regen most of the damage pretty fast. Give me running up, everything's Temp Chains, dual curse, get my buffs up, everything dies pretty fast. Pretty nice build. I haven't done this layout yet, so I don't really know the best way to get to the end. Here we go, first boss. Also, so as you saw on my gear, I didn't really have high armor on any pieces of gear, but you get the free 40% increased armor here. So having a lot of armor on this build is not that hard, which makes a fight like Izaro pretty easy. Now this build can do him with buffs on him, but for the sake of the video, oh wait, this is a different one. For the sake of the video, I'm going to be killing all this stuff. Okay, this fight. You can see it kills him pretty fast on Merciless. He's already at 75%. Make sure this guy doesn't spawn. Make sure this guy doesn't spawn. You see, when I get hit, it's really not for much at all. I was casting Enduring Cry at all, and he's dead already. He hits for like nothing as long as you stay in melee range, have decent armor, have capped resist. That was the first phase of him. And anyone who's just here for the build guide, you can turn it off now. I'm going to keep going for anyone who hasn't actually seen the Labyrinth, hasn't seen the Zaro fight. So hopefully y'all enjoyed the build guide portion. Here is a Labyrinth run on top of it. You get a little bit more for your money. Now the cool thing about the Labyrinth is it's different pretty much every time. But what I initially thought is it seemed like it was the same every day, but it still seems like some of the areas can vary a little bit. And there's secret passages, which I don't know if we're actually getting this video, but there's secret passages you can find now, which can lead you to hidden loot, which can take you to different parts in the Labyrinth, etc., etc. Very cool things in the game that I didn't know they would have. It's getting kind of annoying. There's silver caches you can do along the way, which means you have to go out of your way to get a silver key, and then later on you're rewarded by getting a silver cache, which is loot, which can be a large variety of things. Clever. Currently I'm using Rise of the Phoenix and have pretty decent regen, so walking on this fire really didn't do much damage. With 75 fire res, you can pretty much walk on it still. It doesn't hurt for much. Basically all the tasks are going through, clicking the levers, getting the next area over and over again. And some of them are hard, some of them are pretty easy. Anyone with poison darts is probably the hardest. Get in. I think you can see, I mean, I know it's only a 68 zone, so you can't really see if the damage is that great or that bad, but everything does die pretty much instantly. The damage potential is definitely there. Even blues die in, what, a second and a half? That's a silver cache over there, so we don't want to go that way. Oh, it's going to be a dead end, isn't it? That's a silver cache entrance. Wait. Oh, this is a silver key entrance. Whoops. Alright. Oh, we just hit a side zone. So what I should have done when you enter a zone is if you check on the current location, it actually tells you what kind of zone you're in. If I'd have looked before, it would tell me I was in a silver key zone, which if you're not trying to do the extra content, you can completely skip. Silver keys, 100% avoidable. Golden keys, you actually have to do, because golden keys get you to a gold, would let you go through a golden door, and 98%, I don't know, 90% of the time, you have to get a golden key to go through the golden door. The only other option is you can find a secret passage to bypass the golden door, and that's rare. I've had it before, but it is rare. There you go, secret passage. Never know where it's going to lead. It could put you 2 zones ahead, it could put you 1 zone back. First thing you do is tab, check out the map. Looks like I haven't been here before. If you've been here before, you can look around and you'll find yourself. You'll find the area you've discovered before. But the place you've never been, we'll go ahead and look. Kind of exciting that we got a secret passage on the build guide video. Like I said, the secret passages can lead anywhere. You can have them lead to extra loot. You can have them lead to your golden key room, which you're going to need later, most likely. Have them lead back, which then they become pretty much worthless. You can have them lead to dark shrines. where do we end up going to? We actually could have been the only entrance here. But to move those two here. I don't know where we are right now. Huh? Whatever. We'll just keep going. We do have a silver cache key, so if you find it, we'll click on it. But if not, for the purpose of the video, we'll keep going. We might find it, we might not. No, we didn't find it. So here's going to be phase 2. Also, if you didn't see before the fight, they added your stash. So there's no vendor here, so you can't really vend or anything. This is the same thing. I guess that guy was active for the last fight. What do we have here? Oh no, we have this one. That's what it was. Conduits. So the conduits increase the damage and give them the ability to like shock and freeze and burn and stuff. They become active once they're raised up. Oh, we killed him already. That guy might be active for the last fight. I killed him before, been inactive. But as you saw, I wasn't even really paying attention much and he died pretty fast. I'm sure there's a calculator out there to see how much righteous fire damage you do in your totems. If you have one, please link it below. Let me know. I would love to see one. But other than that, the general principle for the labyrinth is go straight north, which is going to be up and to the right, or straight up. You know, you look at it. But if you have the option to go like left and up to the left, you go up to the left. You have to go down to the right or up to the right, go up to the right. And if you have the chance to go up to the left or up to the right, you go up to the right. So the top right, the top corner is normally where the exit's going to be. So here you have this, then you have one over here. So this one's probably either going to be a side, like a key zone, or something else. Most likely not the exit, or there could be 2 exits to it. So this is silver cache. See, if there's a farther way up you can go, more than likely the right way. And here we go. We're at the gold door. That sucks. I mean, I have to do 2 gold doors in order to get out of here. Means it's a really long one. The way labyrinths are going to work on live is they're going to reset once every 24 hours. Once you run it once, you'll know pretty much the layout of it. You'll be able to do it faster every sequential time. The more you learn, I was able to get runs with this down to about 9 minutes. Yeah, you can just skip pretty much everything. Oh, this is the golden door. Okay, that's what it was. This is the golden door, so I have to go to the side zone and get the golden key. When the golden door is there, the side zone with the golden key is almost always directly up to the left, like this one is. And then the way the gold key and silver key work is you enter normally up here, and then the key is always going to be like down to the left right here, but the only way to get it is go all the way around to the other side. Of course, I'm wrong on this one because it's right here. So this one's actually much quicker than I thought it would be, which means there's probably something really cool on the other side. But since we're just trying to show off the fight, we're just gonna head out of here. Gonna check what's right here. Probably something cool in here. No idea what it is, and we won't find out.
Gold is the most liberating of metals.
Also, every time you do anything, Azaro decides he wants to talk to you, so deal with that. Alright, final form of Azaro. As long as you kill all the buffs in the previous 2 phases, he remains just as easy as it was before. The only difference is there will be traps on the floor. So here we have lava traps, and we have rotating spike traps. As long as you avoid them, you'll be fine. Any buffs he has, you'll see up here. So he has Conduit of Frost, and that's it, because we killed everything else. You'll just sit here and face take him. Pretty easy. We're not even keep up any of your guys. So what you just saw me get is a treasure key. The way treasure keys work is you can get one off of Argus, which we didn't meet this run, but he's the big unique Labyrinth boss. He's like a big bull, probably a minotaur. But if you kill him, he drops a treasure key. If you open up silver caches, they have a chance to drop a treasure key. And then if you keep all of the mechanics from the previous fight, so that we kept all 3 conduits, or all 3 of the whatever spawned after, then I don't know if it's a guaranteed chance, but he drops more keys that way. But the least amount of keys you can drop is 1. The reason treasure keys are so important is because once you exit the fight, there's 10 treasure boxes. And you can only open as many as you have keys for. And they're all random. You can get a bunch of divination cards, you can get a bunch of currency, you can get a bunch of maps, you can get random loot. Let's just choose a random one. Bunch of random crap. A lot of random crap. But nonetheless, crap. And then finally, once you kill him, you get to the Divine Font, and he has a enchant on either your gloves, boots, or helmet. You just take a helmet, right click it, or left click it, and boom, you get your enchant. And then if you never ascended before, you come over here and you can pick what class you want to ascend to. So hopefully you enjoyed the guide. Make sure you hit subscribe if you want to see more guides like this or want to check out my other content I upload to YouTube. Go to twitch.tv/Helmannn with 3 N's at the end. If you want to check out the stream, I'll be live streaming all weekend once Ascendancy comes out. Pushing for top of the ladder, pushing to go fast, doing some Azaro kills, Azaro farming, stuff like that. But yeah, once again, thanks for watching the video. Hope you all enjoyed it, and y'all have a good one.